One of the things that a lot of people who do eat a lot of organs have run into, these are the same guys who are saying, well, you're having thyroid problems, you're having hormonal problems. One of the problems with hypervitaminosis A, so too much vitamin A, that actually suppresses your thyroid stimulating hormone. So it can suppress your body's stimulus to secrete more thyroid hormone. So your thyroid function is going to go down. So that's one of the problems that they're seeing. And they're saying, well, this is probably because of long-term ketosis. I was like, is it though? I don't really eat organs almost at all. I think I've had liver probably 3 times in the last decade. But those times that I've had it, I tried it raw and do the salting thing and let it sort of dry out a bit so it doesn't have that slimy texture after a couple of days. It actually gets a little gummy and tacky. Mm-hmm. Actually, as after 3-4 days, if you cut it sort of thinner strips, it gets the consistency of like gummy candy, which I actually really like. I like gummy candies. Not that I've eaten them in a decade, but that was nostalgic to me. And I was just like, oh, that's actually, and it was like meat gummy candy. I'm like, this is actually amazing. The best liver I've ever had was that sort of raw and dried out for a couple of days. Certainly better than any cooked liver I've ever had. And it tastes good. But I had like a couple bites of that, and I was like, wow, that tasted good. I have another bite, and I'm like, pretty good with that. I think that as far as organs go, you shouldn't have to force yourself. With eating meat, if it doesn't taste good, that means your body doesn't want those nutrients. You're getting a negative feedback, and you should be getting a positive feedback, and you will at first. And so I was getting positive feedback for that liver at first, and I sort of had one. I'm like, I'm not really enjoying that as much. My body was just like, we have enough of this. And I think that that's something to think about as well. Is that in the wild when we're hunting, you're getting one animal with one set of organs, right? Mm-hmm. So you take down a buffalo, it's got 2 years of meat on it for you to eat. It's got one liver. It's got one, and so you can eat these things. And I think they are great in that they are very nutrient dense. But they are nutrient dense, and that can be the problem because you can get too much of a good.
So it's kind of maybe too redundant. You don't need them as much as we think.
I don't think you do. I don't think, and if you're eating like a mixed diet where you're going to be a bit more nutrient deficient, organs are your best friend, right? Mm-hmm. But if you're already eating a carnivore diet, I think you get everything you need from muscle, meat, and fat. This is what the Inuits don't eat organs; they give those to their dog, and so there's a lot of places that do eat organs, a lot of places that don't eat organs. So I don't think it's necessary to eat organs. And if you're coming from a nutritionally deficient state, then yeah, sure, liver's a great idea. But I think you should always keep it in proportion of the animal, right? Mm-hmm. Down a buffalo, you're going to have hundreds of pounds of muscle, meat, and fat to every 1 pound of liver. Mm-hmm. Probably treat that accordingly. So having a bit of liver every day or every week is fine to an extent, but it can get too much pretty quickly, I think. And I think you run the risk of just getting things a little out of balance. And there's the Inuit don't eat organs because there's so much vitamin A in the livers of marine mammals, predators like seals and especially polar bear.
You can't eat polar bear liver.
Yeah, you can die from the vitamin A in it. So there's more vitamin A in liver. Obviously, a cow is going to have much, much less than seals or a polar bear. But if you're just eating just a ton of cow liver, maybe you're not going to get like toxic doses to the point that you're going to die or something. But it can become too much and it can throw you off. And one of the things,
making your body work harder than it has to.
Yeah, and fat soluble vitamins are hard for your body to clear.
Right.
It can actually take a very long time for your body to get rid of these things, so you can have long lasting effects. Mm-hmm. One of the things that a lot of people who do eat a lot of organs have run into, these are the same guys who are saying, well, you're having thyroid problems, you're having hormonal problems. One of the problems with hypervitaminosis A, so too much vitamin A, that actually suppresses your thyroid stimulating hormone. So it can suppress your body's stimulus to secrete more thyroid hormone. So your thyroid function is going to go down. So that's one of the problems that they're seeing, and they're saying, well, this is probably because of long-term ketosis. I was like, is it though? My thyroid's fine, and I've been doing this quite a long time, and the other natural populations that don't eat any carbs, that are just eating meat and fat, they don't seem to have these problems either. So I think that there's something else. There's something more going on there than just being on a ketogenic diet for a long time. Because we're designed to be like that. Like 66% of animals just eat meat. They don't eat a combination of meat and carbs. Literally, what animal on earth does that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just, there's none, and so, it's, I don't think that applies to us either. And you look at these indigenous populations, they'll eat mixed diets mostly because they've been, taken off their own land. They don't have the hunting grounds that they normally did. They're put on like reservations. And so they gotta do what they have to do to survive. But if you look at how they lived traditionally and what people were doing 50,000 years ago, 500,000 years ago, it was really just meat, and what fruit and carbs and honey were available during the ice ages. Not much, and so I don't think we need it. We're fully adapted to just eat meat.
So moral of the story, it's like you can get literally every nutrient you need in steak, and organs just have what's in the steak, but more of them. So we don't necessarily need them.
Yeah, I think so. And look, if you are deficient for whatever reason, because I think meat is what we're supposed to eat, but the meat that we're eating now is not, a wild, boar, years ago eating its own natural sort of food, cows and mammoths and things like that. So, the soil is a bit more deplete because of, monocrop agriculture, just destroying the land and getting rid of all the topsoil and nutrients out of the ground. But, so it's, we're not drinking, creek water and all that sort of stuff. And so we're, it's not perfect, but it's as close to, what we were doing before, as we can sort of get realistically for most people. But, some people might metabolize things a little bit differently. Maybe some people might have, deficiency in something or other. So maybe a little more liver are good for them. Maybe a little more heart is good for them. And so, that's fine, but I don't think everyone needs to. I still think that you should stick with the proportionality of the organs with the fat, or with the body, fat and muscle. So, if you're going to have liver, having liver, a bit of it once a week, once every couple of weeks, that's fine. And if you're having a bit of a deficiency, maybe increase that up a bit. One thing that people talk about is like, folate. There's a lot of folate in liver, not as much in skeletal muscle meat and fat. So it's like, okay, well, maybe have some more liver. I don't have a folate deficiency. I don't see folate deficiencies in my patients. I've had hundreds of patients do a carnivore diet now, and we check their bloods. Folates have been fine. I've met 2 people who have had sort of low folate on a carnivore diet, but they feel fine. They don't have any symptoms. It could be that, well, it is the case that these sorts of ranges are probably need to be readjusted and refactored for people on a carnivore diet. However, since we have those refigured and readjusted numbers, we should probably just, get enough folate, especially when you're talking about like a fertile woman who wants to have babies. This is called neural tube defects in your baby, having not enough folate. So I think that's, make sure that you have enough. So for those people, yeah, have maybe you need more liver, and get that folate up. But my folate's perfect. And a lot of other people's folate's perfect too. So if you're in that category where you have a bit of a deficiency, maybe up the liver a bit more, up these organs a bit more. I think that's a great idea to do that. But it's necessary for everyone.
Hey everyone, if you need a little extra help getting started on a carnivore diet and my online resources that I have for free aren't enough for you, you can go to www.howtocarnivore.com and sign up for a 30-day carnivore challenge where you'll have online resources, group support, weekly Zoom meetings, as well as the ability to chat live with myself, Simon Lewis, and the others in the challenge who can help you and support you and give you extra advice and help you along the way. So if that sounds like something that would be beneficial to you, then please go to howtocarnivore.com and sign up. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you there.